Hello, this is Spryszak presenting my week 2 assignment on chapter 3, risk management. I decided to do my case on the Bearman versus University of Notre Dame. It was in chapter 3, and it basically covered risk management and some of the things that we should look out for as athletic administrators. Yep. So basically, how it went was Bearman versus University of Notre Dame on October 27th, 1979. Mr. and Mrs. Bearman attended a home football game at the University of Notre Dame. They were invited as a business invitee. So the school, I'm sure, uses them as sponsors, and they were probably in a suite, and they decided to leave early from the game. I'm assuming probably just to beat traffic or something like that. And as they were walking out, there were two men fighting, and they were drunk. And it was not an issue until one of them were behind the Beermans and fell on Mrs. Beerman. And as this happened, she ended up breaking her leg. So the Beerman family ended up suing not them, the University of Notre Dame, stating that the school has a responsibility to keep the parking lot safe for not only them, but any fans attending the game. There were no security or police officers noted around the area, as they would have broken up the two drunk guys fighting as it happened. And the text even states, generally the operator of a place of public entertainment owes a duty to keep the premises safe for the invitees. The duty includes a duty to provide a safe and suitable means of ingress and egress, and a duty to exercise ordinary and reasonable care to protect the patron from injury caused by third persons. Now, the school did not believe that they should be held accountable for third person parties involved, as most schools probably believe the same thing. And once this went to court, after all the evidence was looked at, the trial court decided to grant Notre Dame's motion for judgment until the Beermans decided to appeal this judgment. And they stated one issue: whether Notre Dame had a duty to protect Mrs. Beerman from injury caused by the acts of third persons. This appeal ended up being reversed, as I stated with the in-text statement earlier, that they do have a duty to protect all fans and attendees of the game. And because the injury was caused by the acts of third persons and the university was not held to the standard, that they did help and try to do everything that they could to avoid this scenario, the Beerman ended up winning the case. So it was reversed. Now, looking at it from an athletic or activity administrator point of view, like I said, this happened in 1979. There wasn't as much thought into risk management at that time, especially with sports just starting to get big in college or professional athletics. A lot of these athletic directors didn't have what they call a sports game operations employee or any sort of intern or anything to look over this. And now, I mean, you see at any big school, there's just one job of a guy who needs to think of anything that could possibly go wrong. And it could be under a risk management title. It could be a game operations where they're thinking, they're planning. They have golf carts to take people to games, from games to their car, whatever it is. And they constantly have security or police officers out in front of the stadium, around the parking lot, just to make sure everything is okay. And that's mostly because of this case. And I think it's super important that all of us as athletic or activity administrators one day, that we constantly are updating our protocols as the games change. More people may come to your games, less people might come to your games. The protocols must constantly be improved every single year, before every season, really. And I think that's the biggest lesson to learn here in our risk management chapter. And I will see you guys next week. Stop.